Hi, this is episode 21 of year 3 of my ongoing, forever seeming attempt to squat double body weight. So last time out, episode 20, bump in the road. I was talking about the after effect of entering the weightlifting competition, which was great, and I enjoyed it. It was good, but it had impact on that journey to develop squat strength. So this week is about kind of undoing some of that damage or that backwards trend. So I've got a little bit of data this week. So I'm not data for a few weeks. I thought I'd kind of come back into it. So this is information from the second set of my squat protocol. So just for clarity's sake, just to recap, I'm doing the 5x5. So you do a set of 5 at 50%, set of 5 at 75%, or thereabouts, and then 3 work sets at what should be roughly your 100% of 5 rep max. So this is the mean set velocity of 5 reps at 110 kilos. So that's 75% ish of my 5RM. And yeah, it's chaos, isn't it? That there's no pattern there. There's no trend. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. And I've had a conversation with a number of people over the last few weeks about the kind of the trials and tribulations of chasing performance gains as a master athlete. I'm assuming masters have the same issues as me, but this is just me. It's how much variation you have from day to day, from week to week. I have very little confidence in knowing exactly what I'll perform like on any given day. And if I kind of reflect back to maybe in my early to mid 20s, I'm relatively confident that if I squatted that last week, I can squat that this week or bench press that. And it didn't really change between days and between weeks, whereas now it could be anything. So I look for trends rather than individual days, and as you can see there, for that recently, it's up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and that's at 75%. So I'd like to think that 75% should be more stable. It's the maximum efforts that have the greatest kind of variance, but I'm not seeing that actually. And what I'm actually seeing is that there's a different variance between how I feel at 75% and how I feel at 100%. Or 5 rep max, so I can do a set comfortably at 75%, 110, and really struggle at 5 rep max. Equally, I can do what I think is a struggling set at 75%, 110, and I won't say the speeds are better at 5 rep max, but I can actually do more reps. So I can knock out around about 0.3, 0.32, 0.33 for 5 without fatiguing. I just don't have the higher speed. So at the minute, it's just really kind of up and down, very inconsistent. So I'm turning up every session. I'm doing all the sessions. I'm not missing any sessions. But what happens in those sessions is really varied. And if I kind of move on to the next one, this is probably a graph I'm going to show you that can measure the direct impact of that kind of preparation to compete, taper down, week off, and then a real kind of lethargic reintegration back into training, that bump in the road. So on the left-hand side of that graph, that was the last good training week I had before the competition. So again, I'll just remind of the protocol. It's 5 repetitions. As long as all those 5 repetitions are above 0.3 meters per second, as soon as I get below 0.3, the set is terminated. So a marker of my strength capacity is how many of those reps can I actually complete, with the upper limit being 15, and obviously being the lowest being 3, one rep per set. And actually, the reason why that's important is actually after the break. If you look down there, I actually did a session where it was 3. I couldn't get above 0.3 meters per second for singles in those sets. I did literally 3 singles of very slow reps. I just had my body just had basically lost. I think it forgot I had type 2X fibers. Like going, I don't know what you're trying to use, but we haven't got any of those. Thank you. You have to use type 1s instead, and I didn't go anywhere. Over the last fortnight, that has started to show signs of improvement. So today, that's a very far right bar chart graph. I did 12 reps. So as you can see, the week before competition, I was doing 14 and 15 reps at much faster velocities. So I've lost the velocity, and I've also lost that endurance capacity as well. So it's not like I'm doing 5 reps three sets of 5, but they're all slow, is the starting slow and getting slower. But there's a little bit of sign there that I am improving and getting a little bit better, and hopefully this time next week I'm back into the 12 plus set reps per set per workout. So that's kind of some data that kind of articulates what's been going on with me. But even there, you can see within the week, I've done that this week. I've done 3 squat sessions, 9, 8, 12. Right, that's quite a varied number of repetitions to complete. And even then, the numbers are quite varied in terms of velocity. There, you can see I did 9 reps slower than I did 8 reps. How that works out, I'm not sure, but that's kind of happens as kind of we talk about training theory. There's not a lot of science that describes that training theory. It's individual variability, and you get used to managing that. The more data I collect, the more I know I am varied, and I know that just because I'm bad this session doesn't mean that I'll be bad the next session. I could be different completely altogether. So, yeah, it's a bit of up and down, here, there, and everywhere. And I've also seen the similar kind of thing fact in the weightlifting training where I've been really good around about what I think should be 80% of my max, and as soon as I put 85% on it, it feels like gravity's been doubled. Whereas a light rep, just a 5 kilo increase, it feels like it's trebled in weight. So there's something happening in terms of like kind of like the really high intensity threshold motor units. I'm just not recruiting them for whatever reason. I don't know why that would be, but that's life. So hopefully this time next week, slightly more positive, and that kind of variation is in an upward trend. So if I look at that kind of right hand side of that graph, I would say that yes, it is variable, but the trending is to be better, and hopefully I'm a bit closer to what I was pre-competition by this time next week.